Good morning, Year 4, and welcome to Tuesday's maths lesson. Here are your questions for Fluent in 5 today. So pause the video, give yourself 5 minutes, and then the answers are on the next slide for you to mark. So here are your answers. Please mark them and then fill in your grid for this week's Fluent in 5. And on to today's lesson. So today we continue with bar graphs and we are learning how to read and interpret bar graphs. Let's have a look at the first question. Mr. Haddon sold pancakes from Monday to Friday last week. He drew a bar graph to show the amount he earned, and that's shown here on this axis, the amount in pounds, from selling pancakes for 5 days. And here are the 5 days along the bottom. So Mr. Haddon's earnings from selling pancakes for 5 days is the title of our bar graph. On this axis we have the amount in pounds, and on this axis we have the days that he was selling his pancakes: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. So what I'd like you to do in a second is to pause the video and have a go at answering each of these questions using the information on the bar graph. Try your best and we will go through the answers in a second. So pause the video now. So let's have a look at the answers to the questions. We have the information, the amount that Mr. Haddon earned from selling pancakes for 5 days of the week. The first question, how much did Mr. Haddon earn on Monday? So we need to go to the bar graph and find the bar that represents Monday. And then we follow it up to the very top. And when that bar finishes, we move across to the amount in pounds. We follow the straight line across and we see that Mr. Haddon earned £50. I'll write that on here because it's not particularly clear on my sheet. On which day did he earn £45? So this time I'm going to go up the axis where the amount in pounds is shown, and I'm going to find £45, and then I'm going to move across until I find a day of the week that marries up with that amount. And I can see that that is Tuesday. Tuesday goes up to £45. So the answer to that one is Tuesday. On which day did he earn the least? This one is quite an easy one just by looking at the size of the bars. We can see that Wednesday is the shortest, so we can see that he earned the least, and we can just double check that. It's £30, he earned 45 on Tuesday, 50 on Monday, 60 on Friday and 75 on Thursday. But we can see visually that Wednesday is the smallest bar, so that gives us a good idea. And likewise, on which did he earn the most? Again, we can see that Thursday has the tallest bar. So again, visually, that's quite an easy one to answer. How much less did he earn on Monday than on Tuesday? So this is where it's quite a good idea at somewhere around your graph to do some workings, and actually at the start of the question it's quite a good idea to make a note of each amount. So on Monday he earned £50, Tuesday it was 45, Wednesday it was 30, Thursday was 75 and Friday was 60. And that helps with being able to answer a question like this. How much less did he earn on Monday than on Thursday? So I know on Monday he earned £50 and on Thursday he earned £75. So I just take the two amounts and subtract, and I know that he earned £25 less. And on which day did he earn twice as much as on Wednesday? So on Wednesday, he earned £30, and I want to know which day he earned twice as much. So I'm going to multiply that by 2 to give me twice as much, which is £60. And then I can see that on Friday, he earned £60. Can you give a possible reason why you earned the least on a certain day? Well, there could have been any number of reasons. It may be that he ran out of pancake mixture on Wednesday, so he wasn't able to sell as many. It might have been that it was raining and there weren't as many people out shopping. As long as you've given a reasonable answer to that question, that's fine. So here is another example of a bar graph with a title, Colouring Pens and Pencils in the Stationery Shop. Now you'll see that the amounts are a different way around, and the graphs go horizontally rather than vertically, but the information can be found in exactly the same way. So Ella's mum owns a stationery shop. Ella draws a bar graph to show the amount of each type of colouring pen and pencil in her mum's shop. So there is her title. And then down this axis, we have the types of colouring pencils and pens. So I know that this bar represents colouring pencils. This one is gel pens. This one is felt tip pens. And this one is highlighters. And then we have the number of boxes that were sold along the bottom. So again, you would follow the numbers along or follow the bar along and then go straight down to the number of boxes on the bottom axis to find the number. So pause the video and have a go at answering the questions. So hopefully you were able to answer these questions, and just because the bar model is drawn slightly differently, you find the information in exactly the same way. So let's have a look at the questions. How many boxes of colouring pencils are there? So we look down the side to find the colouring pencils, and we can see it's this top bar here. We follow that along into the end, and then we go down in a straight line to find out the number of boxes. So I can see that it's come just between 50 and 60. So I know that the answer is 55. So each smaller marking in between the numbers represents fives. There are 50 boxes of one type of colouring pens or pencils. Which type is it? So again, I'm going to start at the bottom this time, and I'm going to follow the line that represents 50 until I come to the end of a bar. So I'm going to go past highlighters because highlighters is more than 60. And I find that felt tip pens ends on the line representing 50 boxes. I'm just going to carry on though and double check that it is felt tip pens and not something else. So if I carry along that line that represents 50 boxes, I'll see that gel pens goes beyond that, as does colouring pencils. So I know that the answer is felt tip pens. There are blank more boxes of gel pens than colouring pencils. So again, as in the previous question, this is where it's quite useful before you start answering to actually work out how much of each item there is. So I can see that there are 60 highlighters, there are 50 felt tip pens, there are 60 gel pens, and there are 55 colouring pencils. So there are how many more boxes of gel pens than colouring pencils? So there are 60 gel pens and there are 55 colouring pencils. So if I take that away, I know there are 5 more boxes. The next question, the stationery shop has the same number of boxes of blank as blank. So we're looking for 2 amounts that are the same. And we can see by looking at the bars that these 2 are the same size, and we've also written down that they're both 60. So that is gel pens and highlighters. And the stationery shop has 10 fewer boxes of blank than highlighters. So we need to find the amount of highlighters, which is 60. And we want to find one that has 10 fewer. So we take 10 away from 60. The answer is 50. And I can see that felt tip pens, there are 50 boxes of those. So the answer is felt tip pens. So here we have a bar graph that shows the number of adults and children who visited a fair from Monday to Sunday. Pause the video and have a go at the questions. So here are the answers. Hopefully you have managed to work through that as we did with the 2 previous examples. If you can just pause the video and mark your answers and purple polish anything that you didn't get right. And finally, another bar graph with some questions for you to answer about the amount of money spent by Chantal and her friends. So pause the video and have a go at answering those. So here are the answers. On this one, you'll have noticed that there were smaller markings, so you would really have to pay close attention to what each of these markings represented, so that when you had something like this bar, you were able to follow it along and work out that this would represent £90 because each of the smaller markings is £5. So pause the video and mark your answers. And then here are today's questions. So this is practice 2 in your book that you would have in school. And you've got some bars that you've got to read and answer the questions, interpret the data and compare some of the data. So have a go at those. Got a few questions to answer. And then I want you to pause the video here. Go through all your work, and then once you've finished that, you can unpause and check your answers, which are on the following slides. We don't need you to upload this work to Purple Mash. Just make sure that you mark it thoroughly and you purple polish. And if you do have any questions about any of this, please let us know via the blog. Good luck. And here are the answers to today's questions. So pause the video, check your answers and mark them.